Today we will be doing the fourth part of the chapter acid, bases and salt. Our topic today is salts. We have divided this topic into three parts and today is the part. Now what is a salt? A salt is a compound formed by partial or complete replacement of replaceable hydrogen ions of an acid by a basic radical, that is a metallic ion or ammonium ion. So let's see what this definition means. Here we have an example of a neutralization reaction. Hydrochloric acid is reacting with sodium hydroxide, forming sodium chloride and water. Now if you see it, you will see we have written here H plus and Cl minus. Why? Hydrochloric acid is an aqueous medium, so it has ionized into hydrogen ions and chloride ions. Same way, sodium hydroxide is an aqueous medium. It's an aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide which we have taken for the reaction, so it has ionized into sodium ions and hydroxyl ions. Now when hydrochloric acid is reacting with sodium hydroxide, it's producing sodium chloride and water. In a neutralization reaction, the real reaction is between hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions forming water molecules. But now we are talking about the preparation of salts, or rather what is a salt. We are trying to understand that. Now here in hydrochloric acid, which is a monobasic acid, there is only one ionizable hydrogen ion. There is only one. This H plus is the only one ionizable hydrogen ion present, or it is also called as replaceable hydrogen ion. In sodium hydroxide, a monoacidic base, here we have sodium ion is the basic radical. Okay. Now when hydrochloric acid is reacting with sodium hydroxide, this basic radical, that's the sodium ion, is replacing the hydrogen ion of the acid. As a result, you are getting sodium chloride. So sodium ion has replaced hydrogen ion and formed the compound sodium chloride. This compound is called a salt. Now this is called complete replacement. Why? There was only one hydrogen ion in this acid molecule and that hydrogen ion has been replaced. There are no more hydrogen ions remaining in the acid molecule. All of it has been replaced by the basic radical Na+. So it's called complete replacement of the replaceable hydrogen ion, and the product which we obtain as a result is called the salt. So NaCl is a salt here. Now let's take one more example. Here acetic acid is reacting with sodium hydroxide, forming sodium acetate and water. Now this acetic acid has 3 hydrogen atoms here. These 3 hydrogen atoms are non-ionizable hydrogen atoms, so they cannot be replaced. Only this hydrogen atom is an ionizable hydrogen atom. Only this hydrogen can be replaced. Hence acetic acid is actually a monobasic acid, though it has 4 hydrogen atoms in one molecule. Now when sodium hydroxide is reacting, this Na is the basic radical. So this Na is replacing this ionizable hydrogen and forming the salt CH3COO Na. Plus we get water molecule. How? The ionizable hydrogen and the hydroxyl ion of the base, they combine together, gives us the water molecule. So this compound is a salt, and this salt has also been formed by the complete replacement of the ionizable hydrogen ion of the acid. Now we have another example here. Here potassium hydroxide is reacting with phosphoric acid, giving us KH2PO4, potassium dihydrogen phosphate, and water. Now phosphoric acid has 3 hydrogen atoms, and all these 3 hydrogen atoms are ionizable hydrogen atom. Out of these 3 hydrogen atoms, all hydrogen atoms are not being replaced. Only one hydrogen atom is being replaced. By whom? By the potassium ion present in potassium hydroxide. So potassium hydroxide has only a basic radical, one basic radical, that's potassium ion K plus. This K plus is replacing one hydrogen atom in phosphoric acid and giving rise to a salt KH2PO4. So this is where partial replacement has taken place. Why? There are still 2 more hydrogen atoms remaining to be replaced, which can be replaced or substituted. So this is a salt formed by partial replacement of the hydrogen ion. So when an acid and a base is reacting, what we have seen, a basic radical replaces the ionizable hydrogen atom and results in the formation of a compound which is a salt. Now this replacement can be complete, means all the hydrogen atoms which are present, which are ionizable, can be replaced, or out of all the hydrogen atoms which can be replaced, only 1 or 2 may be replaced. We can also define a salt as an ionic compound which dissociates in aqueous solution to yield a positively charged ion other than hydrogen ion and a negatively charged ion other than hydroxyl ion. So we have an example, sodium chloride. Sodium chloride dissociates in aqueous solution. So if you take solid sodium chloride, which is an ionic compound, it's made up of sodium ions and chloride ions. Now you dissolve this in water. So what will happen? The sodium chloride will dissociate, give rise to sodium ions and chloride ions. So sodium ions is a positively charged ion and chloride ion is a negatively charged ion. Other than this positively charged ion, you will not get any hydrogen ion as a positively charged ion. So when an salt dissociates, hydrogen ion is not formed as a positively charged ion and hydroxyl ion is not formed as a negatively charged ion. So now we have finished studying the definition of salt. What does a salt mean? Now we will go into classification of salt. We classify salt into the following types. The first one, normal salt. The next one, acid salt. Then basic salt, double salt, mixed salt and complex salt. So there are 6 types of salts. Out of these 3, in the ICSE syllabus, only normal salt, acid salt and basic salt is there. The other 3, double salt, mixed salt and complex salt, is not there in the syllabus. So we will be now studying about these 3 types of salts in more detail. So the first type, a normal salt. A normal salt is formed by the complete replacement of the replaceable hydrogen ion of an acid molecule by a basic. So let's see, we have sulfuric acid molecule here. This sulfuric acid has 2 replaceable hydrogen ions. These 2 hydrogen atoms which you can see at the 2 corners, these 2 hydrogen atoms are replaceable hydrogen atoms in a sulfuric acid molecule. Now this sulfuric acid is reacting with sodium hydroxide. So it's reacting with 2 molecules of sodium hydroxide. So when it reacts, what happens? This sodium ion, which is a basic radical, that's a metallic ion, replaces the ionizable hydrogen ion. Okay, and this sodium ion replaces this hydrogen ion, which is also an ionizable hydrogen ion. So both the hydrogen atoms present in sulfuric acid will now be replaced by 2 basic radicals, that's sodium ion. So as a consequence, what we get? We get a normal salt. So here we got Na2SO4. So if these minus signs, these indicate the negative charge on the oxygen atom present here. Each oxygen atom is carrying 1 unit negative charge, which is being neutralized, you can say, or which is being cancelled by the sodium ions there. So the whole compound ends up being a neutral compound out here. So that's how a normal salt is formed, by complete replacement of the hydrogen atoms of a acid. Now we go into acid salt, the next type of salt. The salts formed by partial replacement, this is the key word here, partial replacement of the replaceable hydrogen ion of a polybasic acid by a basic radical, are called acid salts. Okay. So now I have a sulfuric acid molecule here again, and I have just now seen that sulfuric acid molecule has 2 replaceable hydrogen ions, but now it's not 2 molecules of NaOH which is reacting, it's actually 1 molecule of NaOH which is reacting with sulfuric acid. So as a result, what happens? You get a sodium bisulfate. Now what has happened? There are 2 replaceable hydrogen ions, but only one of these 2 replaceable hydrogen ions has been replaced by a basic radical, that's sodium ion. This compound which has been formed is still a salt, but this salt has been formed by partial replacement. So out of 2, only 1 has been replaced, 1 still remains. So you can see in the salt, 1 hydrogen atom is still present there. This is called an acid salt. Along with it, we get a water molecule. So an acid salt is always formed by partial replacement. That means there has to be more than 1 replaceable hydrogen atoms in the acid, and one of them will be replaced, the others will still remain there in the molecule, giving rise to an acid salt. If an acid has 2 replaceable hydrogen atoms, you will end up getting 1 acid salt. If an acid has 3 replaceable hydrogen atoms, you will get 2 different acid salts. An acid salt contains replaceable hydrogen atoms, and hence it will show all the properties of an acid. An acid salt will turn blue litmus red. So you can test with litmus an acid salt solution, not solid, it's an acid salt solution which will turn blue litmus red. And an acid salt can react with a base to form a normal salt. Now there is still 1 replaceable hydrogen atom is left. And why this has been formed? When you was carrying out the neutralization reaction, there was not sufficient quantity of base. That's the reason why partial replacement has taken place. Now if you add some amount of potassium hydroxide or maybe some amount of any other base, this acid salt will react with the base and give you a normal salt. So we have a fun time now here. So your question, name a mineral acid and an organic acid which does not form any acid salts. Classification of salts. Now the third part, which is basic salt. The salts which are formed by partial replacement of the hydroxyl ion of a polyacidic base by the acidic radical are called basic salts. Okay, so now it's a polyacidic base, and what is happening? There is happening the partial replacement of the hydroxyl ion. Once we see the example, we will better understand. Now I have copper hydroxide reacting with nitric acid, giving me a basic salt and water. So let's see. Now copper hydroxide is a diacidic base. So it has 2 hydroxyl ions present here. Both these hydroxyl ions can be replaced by an acid radical. Okay. Now it is reacting with nitric acid. So nitric acid, when it's reacting with, what's happening? out of these two hydroxyl ion, one hydroxyl ion has been replaced by the nitrate ion. Okay, so there are two hydroxyl ions, but both the hydroxyl ions are not being replaced. Who is being replaced? Only the one hydroxyl ion is being replaced. By whom? By the acid radical of a acid, and you end up getting water. So this is how basic salt is formed. So you have to remember, a basic salt will be formed only when you will see a polyacidic base. That means a base will have more than one hydroxyl ions, more than one replaceable hydroxyl ions, and you have to have an insufficient quantity of acid. So as the acid will be insufficient, so all the hydroxyl ions cannot be replaced. So one of the hydroxyl ions get replaced, the other hydroxyl ion remains, and the salt which is formed as a consequence is basic salt. Now basic salt contains a hydroxide ion or a hydroxyl ion of the base, a metallic cation and an acid radical. And obviously a basic salt will turn red litmus blue because of the presence of these hydroxyl ions. So when they will dissolve in water, they will dissociate, give rise to hydroxyl ions. As a result, red litmus will turn blue. And a basic salt can react with excess acid to give you a normal salt. So this replaceable hydroxyl ion can be replaced by a acid radical of a acid, and a normal salt can be produced. So again, fun time. So now name an alkali which does not form any basic salt. So after defining the different types of salts, now we will go into the general properties of salt. Salts are usually electrovalent compounds. They are non-volatile solids, and they form crystals. Not necessarily all salts form crystals. Most of the salts are soluble in water, but some salts are insoluble in water. And the solubility of the salt in water varies from one to another. Some are very highly soluble, some may be moderate. There is a variation. Now this chart is a very important chart, and it will be required when we will be preparing the salts, because our method of preparation will be based on these properties of the salt, on the solubility of the salt. So all ammonium, sodium and potassium salts are soluble in water. Whatever. If it's an ammonium, sodium and potassium, they will dissolve in water. All nitrates and nitrites are soluble in water. All chlorides are soluble in water, except mercurous chloride, silver chloride, lead chloride. Lead chloride is soluble in hot water but insoluble in cold water. All sulfates are soluble in water except calcium sulfate, lead sulfate, barium sulfate. Even silver sulfate is insoluble in water. All carbonates, sulfites are insoluble. So whatever carbonate, sulfide or sulfite you come across, it's insoluble except those of ammonium, sodium and potassium. All oxides, hydroxides and phosphates are also insoluble except sodium, potassium and ammonium. So that's what we will end with, the solubility of salts.